I am in the last stage of my PhD. I am in linguistics, applied linguistics, in phonology. So I'm hoping to come back next year to have my thesis defense at Jilin University. I like meeting people. So one of the main objectives why I do study languages, so Chinese is my seventh language now.
Seventh
So
language. What are the other languages?
Well, my mother tongue is Spanish. When I was young, I studied French and English. In Russia, I had a major Russian and second English in philology. Then I studied Italian when I was in Holland and in England, but my family is Italian. And then when I was in Holland, I studied Dutch. So I did a full, like IELTS level of Dutch. So what I really like is, well, talking to people, meeting people and talking to people in the street. So my main objective was to come here to study Chinese and, of course, teaching, because through work I could meet my students and, to know about their life, their experiences, their happiness, their sorrows, I don't know, everything. First of all, my students. One of the reasons that I stayed longer here is because the human quality of the students I got at university. And I think they are a huge part of my happiness. I mean, I could compare my work in Holland in a company that I'm not made for business, and the feeling of getting out of the classroom with a smile on my face. The second thing is the people I met here. I met very interesting, you, Richard, Matthew and other people. It's not a compliment because you're filming me, but it's the truth. And, well, of course, language. I love languages because I can talk to people. But I'm not so concerned about language for business or language for rich people. I'm concerned about the average, especially the poor Chinese. Because one thing that always, when we met Richard, you asked me, do you like philosophy? Why do you like philosophy? And I answer, well, I'm searching for happiness. And I think in every culture, in human beings, there are inner truths about how they reach happiness. And I see so many poor people in China that they are outside selling potatoes with 25 degrees below zero, and they are smiling. So this is, to me, this is a miracle, basically, the capacity of Chinese people to be happy. And I think through language, you can come nearer to people, to simple people. I think that we have this opportunity here in Changchun. I mean, we actually met a group of people eager to do things, like you, Alex, Yogi, Matthew, and Ferney, So actually, it has been a very interesting, let's say, mixture of people that allow us to do many things that I have never imagined to do. Even the literature evenings, I find them that they're very nice, and I have never seen other places doing the same thing as we are doing here. So to me, that's very important. I think that it has always been related with my students. When they call me and they say, "Oh, I found a job," or they are in touch, or sometimes they are grateful about what you feel, the feedback of the students. To me, these are the most, emotional and powerful things here in China. But to have one highlight, for me, is very hard to say.
But friendship and students?
Yes, above all, friendship, students, and, how can I say, the relation that we have built up among people here in the city. Well, Changchun is, I think, is a very weird place to start with. I'm not going to lie about it. I think that Changchun is different to everyone, but for us, for example, Richard, you, Matthew, and other people, it has a different dimension because we are involved in many activities. I know many people, foreigners, that they stay at home or go out only to bars and this goes so. But I think if you are open to opportunities here in every respect, sports, arts, coming up with ideas and building up things, I think you have plenty of possibilities, as any place, I believe. 2 times I went with the students at university to do volunteer work to poor places. And I think that was quite a highlight here in China. A moment I remember very well. They have this sort of communist brigades. I joined them.
Communist brigade?
Yeah, of course, voluntary students. And I did twice in July. Actually, I got a degree, a diploma from the Communist Party. And it was actually very interesting. I made it more just to see how the students, the young students go in there. But also I work as an English teacher. So we went in July to poor places. The first one, we went to a school in Sichuan after the earthquake. And it was very interesting to share these 2 weeks with them. And the second time, we went 2 years ago, we went to Jilin province in the north of province, to a primary school to work with youngsters. The Sichuan experience, it was a little bit hard because it was like 8 months after the earthquake, or 6 months. So everything was rotten down, people were, in tents. And we went to a place where people work with stones. They are, how do you say it in English? They are
stonemasons.
Yes, stonemasons. So I can remember the dust on the street. I could see the bones and the muscles of the men here in their bodies, and it was such a depressing and really very, very bad place to be. And actually, I was very touched because you can compare this to Beijing or Shanghai. And it's a totally different world. So actually, that is the China we need to see more, and we are so little in touch here. I hate Sanlitun. Sanlitun is not China, It's just a ghetto. I always call this place the ghetto. And that where rich people, get together and they live in an illusionary world. That's not China to me. Well, it's very funny and very exciting for me because I left Argentina when I was 18 years old, and for the first time after secondary school. Even I did not do university in Argentina. I did it in Russia, in Moscow. So now is the first time I'm coming to Latin America to work. So I'm very eager to give back, if I can, everything that I have learned through traveling and studying, and life experience. I'm going to Ecuador. I'm going to join a developing program set up by Ecuador, the president of Ecuador, the government, to develop education and academics. So I'm going to work in the north of Ecuador, next to Colombia, 8 kilometers from Colombia. And Richard is smiling because there is nothing in this place. Very high in the mountains, almost 3,000 meters, above sea level. So only that street and no Mayflower there, and a huge university. So actually, this university is a polytechnical university to develop the area, especially to provide work, to prepare young people, indigenous people mainly, to be part of the economy of the north of Ecuador. That's my secret, Richard. Come on, you're like the Chinese now. You want to know everything. Okay, I met my boyfriend here last year. He's from Spain, the Canary Islands. He's a doctor in literature, and actually, he helped me to get the job. I mean, we go together there. So, and I'm very happy about that. I'm not married yet, Richard.
I know, I'm just going to ask you about the ring. I have my engagement.
Yes, thank you. This is terrible from me, Richard, because I promise I never get married in my life, and I'm betraying myself. Yes. Well, I hope that people can enjoy Changchun as much as I did. So I think the city is nice, and it is very important what you do, with the city, or what you are able to give and to participate. And many people can tell me, oh, Shanghai, oh, Beijing, but I would never change Changchun for all that. But it depends on you, of course. What do you like?
Do you want to raise a glass?
Sí. ¿Sí?
Sí.
Muy bien.
So, my favourite communist. Cheers.
My friend Richard.